So welcome everybody to our last session of the Online Movement Festival, Humanize Yourself. We have Ruth here with us today. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the land that I come from to this festival is the Ghana Plains people, and I recognize their connection to the land and the waters, and I honor their ancestors, past, present, and future. So let me introduce you to Ruth Polden. Ruth has been exploring movement for over 40 years. She's a movement change maker, a certified Feldenkrais practitioner, yoga teacher, and former dance and choreographer. She brings a rich dimensional approach to working with people, creating transformational learning experiences. In addition to her busy practice in Sussex, UK, where she works with both in-person and virtual students, Ruth is co-director of the Yoga Birth Pregnancy Teacher Training. There's training twice here. And the postnatal facilitators of the training course. She is also the faculty of the London Yoga Teacher Training Group and dispassionate about mentoring and preparing yoga teachers for the future. Ruth's mission is to create learning experiences and adventures with curiosity, kindness, and self-respect. At their core, to delight in discovery and the magic of remembering our true self. She believes that as we come home to ourselves with kindness and curiosity, change is always possible. Welcome, Ruth. Thanks for being here on our last session.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you. It's really a great pleasure to be here. Yeah, hi, Uta.
Hi, Uta. So
yeah.
Should we get the video started? Let's do that. Here we go. Let me just check. Yeah, to make sure I had the right sound. Here we go.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It is indeed an honor to be here, and I'm looking forward to explore together how we can grow ourselves more tenderly. First, a short story to set the scene. I used to love daydreaming whilst sitting on the loo when I was a young girl. Growing up in a busy, large, loud family, it was the one place I could retreat to get some privacy and have some quiet time and space to myself. And while sitting there, I would imagine all sorts. I remember very clearly when I was about 9, imagining what it would be like to have my own house when I was grown up, what my house would look like, what I would put in it, how I would arrange it, and how it would feel to be grown up. I was certain then that when I turned 16, I would definitely feel really grown up. So I'm 63, and part of me is still waiting to feel and sense myself all grown up. Life is certainly a journey into the unknown, and it's not linear. We don't know where it will take us, what we'll meet, or even how long we'll be on this earth. Today, I can say I'm a mother responsible for the well-being and safety of my children. I'm married, I'm a professional. I have my own busy practice and clinic. I manage a home and budget finances. I write training programs and train teachers. I actually do many grown-up things. And part of me is still waiting to feel that I've arrived in the perception that I had then of adulthood. And at the same time, my body, my physical self, often surprises me when it doesn't look as it did or isn't interested in what it did when I was 16. I'm moving and navigating in my life now with much more fluidity and ease than in my teenage years. I feel more comfortable in my own skin, more confident, more clear about what's important to me. And I also often get surprised when I see myself in a photo or on camera, and it's a bit like an out-of-body experience, as if I'm looking at someone else, actually. And I often think, blimey, is that me? Is that what I really look like? Is that what my voice sounds like? And I know I'm not alone in this. And it got me thinking. Biologically, as living beings, we're constantly growing and changing and renewing. Our skin renews, the intestinal and uterine lining renews, our liver replenishes, the cells in our bones are renewing, just to mention a few awesome examples. And yet, the image or some of the image that we hold about of ourselves is often one that's stuck or fixed in time. Of course, I know we don't grow and develop in a vacuum. How we've been parented and nurtured, the society and culture we grow up in, the experiences we have, they all go towards growing what we believe and how we perceive ourselves, what we think we're good or not so good at, our strengths and our weaknesses. Moshe Feldenkrais said, people are educated in how they should be, how society needs them to be. The norms of our culture actively shape what we come to believe about ourselves and about another. And we are surrounded by incessant messaging, especially in this digital world. And messages that are both explicit and really out there and clear to everybody, and those that are hidden about how we should be. Just as an example, as part of my work, I've spent many years supporting and accompanying women and their families through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. Pregnancy, birth, and parenthood are extraordinary, and they're like a volcanic eruption to all we've known, all we've anticipated and taken for granted. Everything changes. Today, in the celebrity culture that's so prevalent, it feeds and creates ideas and expectations on so many levels. So the expectation that we birth our baby and then look and continue as if nothing has happened is very clearly pushed. It's selling a warped message that after such a seismic experience, we need to aspire, we need to want to aspire to go back to who we were, what we looked like, how life used to be, as if nothing has happened, rather than acknowledging the incredible life-changing event that actually changes us forever and from our very core, and it expands our horizons and it leaves its mark. So we're being socialized on so many levels, and how to dress, how to behave, what we should eat, what we should buy, how we should aspire to live, how we ought to move or to sing or to dance, and what's considered good singing or bad singing, or good behavior or bad behavior, or even good posture and bad posture. The list is endless. Over time, it shapes how we feel and what we come to believe about ourselves. What feels valued and what's not. What I think I need to achieve, how I need to be and act in the world, to be seen, to be accepted. For instance, our culture is all about amplifying non-aging, non-wrinkles, again, this thing of non-change. Or if there is change, it's all doom and gloom. A culture where our elders, instead of being revered and honored, often feel invisible. The choices we make in our life, our actions, our relationships are all influenced in some way by how we sense ourselves and think and feel about ourselves. It's really huge. Some choices that we make are curious, quirky, transient. Some are far-reaching and go very deep. And all our choices can conceivably become limiting. They can become habitualized, and they can stop us from developing our full potential, stop us from becoming more of who we truly are. Moshe saw possibility. He was interested in expanding the limiting perceptions people have of themselves. He also understood well ahead of his time the brain's intelligence and its capacity for learning and change, what we know today as the brain's plasticity. The Feldenkrais method is about learning and growing what's possible in order to create more choice, more freedom, and to restore dignity. And through this comes more curiosity, more choice, more creativity, more resilience, and more freedom. And we do this through movement, and we do this through slowing down and sensing ourselves with attention. So try this. We're going to do a short movement experiment. So please, if you're sitting, just sit comfortably. If you can have your feet flat on the floor, that will be good. You can lie down. You can do this on a bed. And just for a moment, this is going to be very, very quick. Just for a moment, wherever you are, can you turn your head just to the right and then to the left? And slow down for a moment and turn your head just where you can turn it really easily. Don't try to go as far as you can. Just where you go without force, just to the right, just to the left, and then stop, come back to the middle. Okay, now please close your eyes and keep your head still. And with your eyes closed, slowly move your eyes to the right and to the left. Keep your head still and just notice as you move your eyes to the left and then slowly to the right, do they move easily? Don't force anything, keep it easy. Does it feel different going to one side than the other? Great. Now, leave your eyes over to the right and keep them to the right, and without moving your head, move your eyes up and down, just almost around the corners of each eye. You're moving your eyes up in the direction of your eyebrows, down in the direction of your feet. And go slowly, go smoothly, and don't try to do it well. Be playful with this. It's just a little experiment. So you move your eyes up, you move your eyes down, your head is still. Notice, are you breathing with all of this going on? What are you doing with your hands or with your tongue? Good, just easy, lovely. Then come back, bring your eyes back to the middle, pause there with your eyes closed. And now open your eyes just for a moment and again, turn your head to the right and then to the left and see if anything feels different, if your head moves differently. Yeah, and again, don't try to go as far as you can. Okay, come back to the middle and close your eyes again, and now begin to take your eyes to the left. So we've experienced this to one side, but how is it sliding, as if you were sliding your eyes over to the left, to the left corners of your eyes, the left corner of your left eye, the left corner of your right eye, and back to the middle. And keep your head still and notice, what are you doing with your mouth? Can you stay soft in your abdomen? Can you spread your attention to notice how your feet are making contact with the floor? Nice. So you just keep taking your eyes slowly to the left, back to the middle, without trying to make it the same as the first side. Just notice maybe on this side, the movement might feel smoother, or it might feel a little more sticky or stuttery or jumpy. Now, pause with your eyes over to the left, and from there, slowly slide your eyes up, slide your eyes down. How does it feel doing that to this side? What feels different? And maybe try and do less. Don't try to make the movement too big, just where you can go easily. That's it, lovely. Then come back to the middle with your eyes. Pause for a moment. And then open your eyes and turn your head just a little to the right, a little to the left. So what changed for you in that short exercise? Did anything surprise you? What changed in how you sensed yourself before and after this very quick experiment? Maybe the range and ease of turning change. Perhaps you noticed that you were sitting differently, or that your breathing has changed. Or maybe you sense the space around you a little differently. You might feel calmer, quieter, maybe a bit more relaxed. Maybe you even met feelings of frustration and annoyance. One thing for sure, movement, whichever part of us we move, isn't separate from sensation or from thinking or from feeling. They are all intertwined, interconnected, and interrelated. So when I change how I move, I am potentially going to change how I think and feel. Slowly over time, I can free myself from what limits and inhibits me. Little by little, I can spread my wings. And when you grow a mind-body set of possibility and stay listening, stay curious, playful, there is always an opening for learning and discovery somewhere. Play and playfulness is very powerful and has far-reaching effect. There's a primatologist and zoologist at Oxford University called Isabel Benque Izquierdo, and she studied communities of bonobos. Bonobos, together with chimpanzees, are our closest evolutionary relatives. Her work shows that the bonobos' lifelong playfulness contributes to their very remarkable communities. Their communities are very cohesive, they are very tolerant and socially quite sophisticated. And she has observed them quite extensively play out their conflicts. If they meet a problem, they resolve it playfully. It's a really wonderful strategy. And we, as their close relatives, can take a lot from them and have a lot to learn from them. To see this in action, a student of mine with a history of chronic pain said to me the other day after an awareness through movement lesson, these are her words. She said, my adult brain keeps telling me in the lesson, why can't I do this? Or I can't do this. And then she said, but when I let some of that go and come with curiosity and playfulness in the lesson, something interesting always takes my attention. I always discover something new about myself that I previously wasn't aware of. So the lessons help discover how to move more and sense more and think and feel in new ways. And for somebody with chronic pain, this will be around moving more, sensing more, thinking and feeling in new ways that don't increase pain. And then suddenly something that wasn't available to us before becomes possible, and not only possible, but easy. Through the structure of the lessons, bit by bit, more of myself gets called to the movement party, and it begins to feel good. It can feel enjoyable. It can feel curious, interesting, but there's something very satisfying. And I learn what moving with ease and tenderness feels like. It tells my brain that moving can be good, and our brain is attracted to positive, enjoyable, pleasant sensation. And that in turn sets up the conditions for more positive change. As more of me gets involved, I feel more complete, more whole, more joined up, more engaged. I feel better about myself. Some people have said at the end of lessons, I feel more myself, or I feel how I would like to always feel. So in a lesson, be tender with loving kindness to yourself as you move without judgment. It's not about doing anything in a fixed way, one way, a polished way. Let go of achieving in the lessons. The beauty of learning in this way is that there's more than one way of getting to where we think we want to go. And that maybe we discover something different, new about ourselves, something that was previously hidden, that reveals itself, a treasure, a new possibility. Being tender means we all have to begin at our own beginning, not someone else's. Not where we would like to be, but where we are. So the past has happened and I can reflect on the past, I can learn from the past, and the future is something I can imagine, I can certainly dream about, and that's all good, but I'm not there yet. The now is where I actually have choice. And awareness through movement lessons bring us into the now, because using our awareness can actually only happen in the present. And we slow down, we move slowly very often in these lessons. And slowing expands time so that we notice and sense ourselves differently. Slowing expands the potential also of the present moment, the power and the richness of the now. We will bump into our conditioning time and time again for sure. But through curiosity, playfulness, moving our attention around in the lesson, we can approach situations of challenges quite differently. And we can actually, over time, lift ourselves beyond rigid rules or limits that we've placed or had placed on ourselves. We expand our horizons. And often we find that we do things we never imagined we could. It's humbling and inspiring, and it's also very liberating. So grow to love and big up your ever-changing self-image. Develop an expansive, bigger sense of yourself. Play bigger, dream bigger, and become more of who you really are. When people become more of themselves, Moshe said, they become better to themselves and to others. They feel more comfortable, more confident, more empowered. They start living more aligned to their desires, their dreams, their values, their truth. So don't put a limit on yourself. Grow humbly. I love this quote. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. So my ending question to you is, what are you letting go of today, tenderly? Thank you very much. And I'm gifting to you my 9 tender lifelines that you can find on my website and in the gift bag at the Movement Festival. Thank you so much.
Just spotlight. Well done. That was lovely, Ruth.
Thank you. Yes, the image of the little dog is one of my favorites. Just think it's so remarkable. You know, it was very inspiring to see that massive branch and this little thing. moving it around. And, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do a movement lesson now with Ruth. I'll end this recording and